Come on, the Vidasala can't be too far ahead.
Where the hell are we now? Elven Ruins. We don't even know what this is. Sola's gonna be here?
There, on them!
They're here to kill him. An agent of Fen'Harel.
Everyone back!
Oh my god! Anchor meltdown. The anchor now builds up power even faster. Using it is difficult, but discharges all accumulated focus. If the focus reaches full power, the anchor discharges uncontrollably, damaging you and your allies as well as nearby enemies. Oh, we gotta keep using it then.
If it keeps up like this, it will kill you. Solus must help as he did at Haven.
Hated is too smart for you, Pity, before the whole Agent of Fenny business. He better help. We're owed.
That's kind of how I feel too. So he grabbed my hand in the beginning, in the very beginning. Maybe he did something to me back then.
Over there. That's got to be where Solus is.
For some reason, he just knew what to do exactly and all that. For some reason. Why is Cassandra already at half health? Okay. Whoa! It's really powerful now. Thank goodness they gave you an extra slot for this so you don't have to take away an existing skill. I was just thinking. It would be insane. Like, especially since no one uses mounts anyway. 8 is too few slots for the amount of skills we have. Where the hell are we? I don't know.
The big mage! He's always with their leader woman!
Does it still make us invincible? Whoa. I'm gonna blast that. Iron Mole has a gigantic barrier, but he's still getting pummeled here. Iron Bull. Iron Bull. Oh no. Didn't have time. I don't think that... Does that even give us invincibility anymore? It's getting unstable. This thing in my hand, even... Like, what even is it? We went through the whole thing, defeated Corypheus, but it's just sort of been hanging out on my hand, and now suddenly it's reacting in all sorts of ways unpredictably. Wow, 1500 on me? How dare you? Get out of here. The animation kind of takes forever now. We just use it so that we discharge it safely beforehand. Come on guys, let's go. Lots of Fen'Harel statues here. Where even are we? Some Fen'Harel resting place. Solus, what are you doing? Are you here? You have to be. I would just ram through. Oh god. Okay, there's a lot of Gatlock next to us. Let's do it. Ah, that was worth it, even if it hurt my allies. Which I don't think it did. Didn't seem like it did. Oh, get out here. Oh, it's getting so unstable. Let's go, guys. There's more. If Solus being Fen'Harel, he was apparently asleep for a long time, right? And while he was fighting with the Inquisition, it didn't seem like he was particularly stronger than anybody else. So I'm not sure if that's because his powers were in slumber, or has he just been hiding the depth of his powers the whole time. I think it's probably the slumber thing, because if he was actually that strong, he would have defeated Corypheus immediately. But he didn't. So maybe the full extent of his powers haven't been unlocked yet. Which might mean that Vidasala getting to him might be an actual problem. I mean, I don't think it will be from a narrative perspective, but you know. Alright. There's a rift here. Oh, I can't even use the rift! Why can't I use the rift? Give me the rift. Come on. Enough of this. Cassandra getting hurt despite her collar? Wait, don't hurt Sarah. There's an invisible person here. We all good? We all good? No, none of that rogue backstabbing crap, please. Oh, come on. Ah, she wasn't there. Is she still around? Not anymore. Ah, there was Gallock right here. Burn it anyway? I'm sorry, guys. It was worth it. Where the hell? Is this by the initial Elven Mountain ruins, maybe? It seems similar. The architecture and all. Shrine to the Dread Wolf. The Dread Wolf himself has his own shrine. Like Temple of Dread Wolf. Kind of like the Mythal thing. Hi! Wanna come fight?
Here he comes! Let's have you.
Just wanted to invincibility all of us first. What? Okay, the barriers didn't work for whatever reason. You guys like bees? You guys like wasps?
Make it take you.
The big Sarabas. He's the buffest one out of all of us. He's even buffer than the warriors. Oh, there's the range people are trying to get us. We should get them. Be careful. Oh. Thank God we have this spell today. No, 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 no. We gotta keep doing it. I did something. We should get the spearmen in the back though, because those guys are gonna be applying constant damage to us in the back. Not good. You like bees, Sarabas? Vidasala's here too.
Be ready. They have reinforcements.
Focus on this dude, maybe. Oh, my friends. Yeah, they're busy with other stuff right now. Am I the only one fighting the Sarabas? No, me and Cassandra and Sarah. Iron Bull, you good? Get him already. You can do it. You get him. Oh, quit that. Cassandra, Cassandra! This would have been terrible if we don't have this spell. Just thinking about that Alpha Emissary fight again makes me want to die. Thank you. Oh, that's too far. Shoot. Okay, we're good. Maybe not everyone stand in a row right here like that. Resistances. Nothing in particular. Quit being annoying. Oh, damn! Oh, thank you. Oh.
Looks like he's off the leash.
Oh, he was leashed just now. Cause he has Illyrium-infused stuff going on.
You will not leave here, Inquisitor. Antam, Ibrasha Gadim.
Okay, sure, man. Let's roll, guys. Oh, we gotta discharge. Woo! Barely control the anchor. Every time I use it, it just pushes me back. We're good. So many! Oh, I want to activate that. We're still good. We don't need to use that supply cache yet. How many people do they have? This apparently isn't even approved by the Kun. The Kunari in general back in Parvolan. And yet they have this many people on their side? Oh, we're good. Let's go! The temple to the Dread Wolf. Oh, there's multiple... Wait, there's an Illuvian here. What, we just sort of escaped them?
One of the mirrors must lead out of here.
Okay. Well, it wasn't this one. I don't even know where we started from. Hold on, I'm a little lost. Okay, we'll just have to make do. Oh, we have to let go of the... Ooh! Damn! Murder that shock trooper. Be careful, guys. None of that. I can't believe the Kunari. Yes? Oh! Oh, you're saying we should probably not fight. We should be trying to get out of here, right?
One of the damned mirrors has to lead out of here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna discharge this. Sorry, it might hurt, guys. Yeah, that was a lot. Okay, it's my job to look for mirrors and your job to hold off the guys. Oh, this is so... anchor dischargeable. Oh, we gotta do it. Woo! Scram! We got out. Not without heavy damage.
All right. Maravaskataraha!
You are dead, Inquisitor. Your soul is dust.
It's like a kid making an insult. You're dead. I'll have you. Whoa, this is a boss battlefield if I've ever seen one. No? Thedas. Oh, the unleashed version. Okay. Alright, guys. Yes, thank you for bringing me over so I can hit you easily. Oh. Why am I walking so fast? Is that really... The colors are changing. Am I dying? Am I dying in a anchor kind of way? Wait. Yeah, like, is that the guy pulling me over? Or is that my abilities morphing from the anchor? I'll build up the thing a little bit more first. No. Quit it. Oh, he's opening the fade too. With shades. None of that on my watch. It's okay, those guys are easy. We'll just do them on the side. Sara. It's not a regular Sarabas. This fight is even more epic than Corypheus' fight. Look at it! They're making it seem like a big thing. Dispel that crap. Come on. Just unload it. Forget about those demons. Forget about the demons, guys. Oh, he's gonna teleport. It's just him dragging me over. It's not his anchor ability. Nope. He's using Anchor Blast whenever we get those shades around as well.
Someone help Sarah!
She's doing fine. She's a big girl. Just keep activating the anchor. That's what this is for. Look, you guys were a good team. I'm sorry I doubted you guys. We were doing perfectly fine. Probably thanks to some of the stuff we were finding, all the... Oh, wow, there's a pride demon here too. Forget about it. Just get this guy. Forget about it. Guys, don't get distracted. This is the real threat. Come on. He can't withstand it. He's almost gone.
He's all magic-y. Use your hand.
I did use my hand accidentally at the same time. Whoa, what's wrong with me? Oh, God. Okay. Woo! That was something. I got over. Oh, he's been turning people into stone. Which we've seen in the first Elven Mountain runes already. We didn't have to worry about him.
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maraskata.
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Oh my gosh.
Solus.
Want to help with that? What are you wearing? Doesn't even have to move.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
The Kunari answered some of those questions. The information I found while traveling through the Alluvians answered more. You're Fen'Harel. You're the Dread Wolf.
Well done. I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Do you feel wronged? Talk to me. Whoa.
Our legends about you are wrong. I saw the truth as we traveled the crossroads.
You saw another story, written in desperation to give me more credit than I ever deserved.
Oh.
You were a hero, Solus.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
The god of rebellion. I have many questions here. Honestly, the Inquisitor figuring out that Solus is Fen'Harel, that's not a normal deduction to make. It's just so out of the ordinary. Like within the framework of our world, it's just not, it's like thinking a square is a circle. It's just not something that would normally be thought about. But I feel like Inquisition has been a lot about that breaking out of the framework kind of thing too. Dragon Age Origins and 2, they let us know how things usually operate here, but Inquisition, everything about the Breach, the Maker, Fade, all that. Even the Elven history, Dwarven history, there's so much we don't know that it's laughable that we thought we knew anything at all. I have questions.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
The gods.
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
You destroyed the Elven world to save people. To save literally everybody else.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythol, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanurus are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
Forever? Forever seems like a long time when you're a god.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythol. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. and in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Adjudicator.
The Evenuris were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, and finally gods. The Evenuris.
That sounds like it's in name only, but not... Like usually when we think of a god, we're thinking immortal, limitless power. They're powerful, but if they just go up from a general to an elder to a king to a god, that doesn't sound immortal. But you clearly have been living for a long time.
How did creating the Veil destroy the world?
You saw the remains of Via Dathara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. Your legends are half right. We were immortal. It was not the arrival of humans that caused us to begin aging. It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
If it weren't for you, though, we would have a very different world today. And people don't even know to thank you. In the common version of the legend of Fen'Harel, people just think you're some god of trickery out to prank everyone and prevent the gods from saving people, but it was the other way around. It seems to weigh very heavily on him. Yes, of course, because it destroyed everything about the elves, everything we know about their culture. But as a Dalish elf who's been living in the now and present and not from a million years ago when Solus was first, active and around and before he put up the veil and stuff, I feel like on some level he actually saved us, because without him, we wouldn't have the world and our way of life as we do today. It's not perfect, but apparently the alternative is the gods defeating and destroying the whole world, so I feel like on some level I'm a little thankful. Should I not be?
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evenuris down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the Elven people, even if it means this world must die.
Whoa, what does that mean? The Elven people are okay, they're in Dalish camps and... Okay, actually it looks pretty bad. The Dalish camps, the Dalish elves are discriminated against, the city elves are discriminated against. Why? Why does the world have to suffer for this?
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this. But the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
He doesn't view the Dalish elves as his people. He's thinking about the ancient elves the whole time. The return of my people means the death of yours.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
Oh, wait. You gave Corypheus the orb because you were too weak to open it? Because when you first woke up from your slumber or whatever, you were, the Euthanura, right? And you were too weak to open it, so you wanted someone to open it for you, but then he just took it and ran with it?
You gave your orb to Corypheus.
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Divinity Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
Sounds like this world has grown a little bit more since the last time you were familiar with it, and maybe you shouldn't be underestimating us then.
What would have happened if Corypheus had died, and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil.
Whoa.
As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
You're making me feel like I should be glad that didn't happen. Because it sounds like I should be glad.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
Which you're not gonna tell me? This conversation is making some things, as the elven legends have always been this far unreachable thing. It's just a myth. But the conversation makes some things a bit more concrete. It makes it more, I'm gonna use the word human-like, but I don't mean like, you know, like a human, right? I mean more, less ambiguous. Like we can envision what it's about. Oh, it's like a war between elven figures and all that. But at the same time, I have so many more questions that he's not willing to answer. I think I'm gonna have to push back a little bit.
You'd murder countless people.
Wouldn't you to save your own? You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade. It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
We aren't even people to you.
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
Even now, you still think, well, I gotta restore my world and it's gonna destroy yours? Well, whatever, I guess. Even though you told me I wasn't like the other elves and all that, I had value. We spent all this time together in the Inquisition. We fought against Corypheus together. We did all this together. But to him, it's like a god entertaining pawns.
You never cared about us. We were the means to an end.
You were people, and you deserved better. Like all the rest I've used in one hopeless battle after another.
Oh? Oh god, what the hell is this? Yeah, okay, I see. It's not that, it's more like he's trying to tell himself that we're not people, so it'll make it easier. He does think we're people. Okay, we all have a priority list in our minds. Number 1, ancient elves. Number 2, everyone else. It just happens that we're not above the ancient elves and whatever else the rest of his plans are.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Canary plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Canary spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Canary body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
Whoa, wasn't that like Liliana's #1 spy? Who does she think she's working for? I'm very curious. Does she think she's actually an agent of Fen'Harel? Or does she think she's doing something else, or what's up there? Oh, Liliana, we really have to dig out the gossip to blackmail your people. I'm not surprised though, every organization has spies in every other organization. That's just how this kind of stuff works.
Why bother disrupting the Kunari plot if you're going to destroy the world regardless?
Yes!
You have shown me that there is value in this world, Inquisitor. I take no joy in what I must do. Until that day comes, I would see those recovering from the breach free of the Qun.
What?
Why?
Because I am not a monster. If they must die, I would rather they die in comfort, In any event, it is done.
Okay, well, when are you gonna fit us into the schedule of us getting destroyed then? You wanna let us know that part? I'm actually not that angry, but I feel like it makes for the good drama here.
So you let us do your dirty work.
The mistake was yours to fix, Inquisitor.
You control the Illuvians now.
Yes. You remember Briala from Halam Shiral? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
I'm very curious, how are you planning all this? You had spies in the Inquisition? Did that only happen in the past 2 years, or did you already have spies starting from when you first joined the Inquisition? When you first came to the Conclave, the Temple of Sacred Ashes. This is insane.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
Yes, I'm sorry. And we are almost out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
Ooh, this is spicy. The stuff he's saying, the actual words of what he's saying, makes him sound like an evil villain, but you can tell he's like a martyr. He thinks of himself as a martyr. He doesn't want to do it, but he has to. Because why? Because that's just his value system. He has to make the ancient elves great again. I don't know what he's gonna do with the false gods that are gonna come out, but he has to destroy the veil, and which will mess up the whole world for us. So he wasn't even trying to stop the breach. He wanted the whole sky to just open up. Oh, this is so spicy, I'm torn. What I, as a player, think is this. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, but it would be so spicy if the Inquisitor was like ultra mad right now. But we worked together. We worked together for so long in the Inquisition. That had to have meant something to you.
You don't need to destroy this world. I'll prove it to you.
I would treasure the chance to be wrong once again, my friend. Take my hand.
I would love to prove you wrong.
I'm sorry. Live well, while time remains.
Ooh! Didn't think meeting Solus again would... but that opened up way more questions than answers.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Qunari.
I can't see anything.
Because this Solus provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat.
Okay.
We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Qunari spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, you would not be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
Guys, we have a new problem.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
I don't know how to explain it to you, but we have a new problem. Oh, wow, okay. Hold up. We serve the Divine, not you. The Inquisition will serve Divine Victoria. Efforts against Solus will be stronger, but risk corruption. Like with a spy problem, we'll keep the peace. The Inquisition will serve Divine Victoria. Efforts against Solus will be stronger. Oh, these are the same. We need more oversight. Inquisition will serve Divine Victoria. Oh, these are all the same. Oh, it's 2 choices. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker, but more secure. We're against the god right now. We have to... The Inquisition has to stay. It has to stay. Serving Divine Victoria? That's like... Everyone knows Divine Victoria used to be in the Inquisition. This is just nepotism. I mean, the end result is the same, but which one we choose probably does still matter. We need more oversight. I think the corruption that happened proved that we do need more oversight. But we prevailed against it. It's just not gonna happen, having an organization without spies infiltrated into it. That's so hard because everyone... Pass it off to Liliana? I feel like we need to be a little bit stronger though. This is a weaker position. The Divine will be our oversight. How about that? See, if we say we will keep the peace, it's just keeping us independent. So every problem that, every concern everyone has had up until now, they'll continue to have it. Whereas this one, we have the Divine.
You all know what this is?
What?
A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition.
My hand!
We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. The Inquisition saved the people of Ferelden when you couldn't. We are not disbanding. And we are certainly not submitting to an emperor who only sits on his throne because we put him there. There's worse coming than anything you've yet seen. So we'll play nice. We'll bow. But not to you. The Inquisition will act as Divine Victoria's personal honor guard. Answering directly to her, we will transition from a military force into a peacekeeping organization. My own adventuring days may be done, but the Inquisition and its mission will continue.
My hand is gone? I just noticed my hand is gone? Oh my god! Solus removed my hand to keep me alive longer? Oh my god. Okay. Wow, alright. I guess we're sticking around for a little bit longer. And everyone's okay with it because the Divine said so. Why are Varric and Cassandra looking at each other like that? I can't fight anymore. But I'm alive. Oh, the breach is still there. Over the next several months, the Inquisition carefully gave over many of the duties it had had. As the Divine's personal guard and peacekeeping force, the Inquisition shrank to a more manageable size. How big were we anyway? I don't know, like 1,000 people or 100 people or what? Many who served went home, though the remaining force was still enough to give pause to any who might threaten the Divine's plans. We clearly have a threat. I can't just disband. Those who served the new Inquisition was tested and checked thoroughly, in the hope of ferreting out any more spies within its ranks. I don't think that'll work. With the Dragon's Breath disrupted and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Qunari retreated back to the north. I want an apology from their main guy. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvolin, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. While she often disagreed with Liliana's policies, the former right and left hands of the Divine shared a mutual respect and worked well together. Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterborn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to a purpose few outside their order could guess. Not watching the Templars anymore? Is that even still a thing in the New World? We don't have circles anymore. The end of the Inquisition as it had been sent shockwaves through the College of Enchanters. Madame de Fer ably played on the mage's fears. Oh. Her followers united to build a new circle, with Vivienne as its Grand Enchanter, in direct competition with the college. Not surprising, I suppose. What the circle lacked in numbers, they made up for in political connections. Soon, they were a force to be reckoned with. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. The Vivienne wants something more close to what we had before back, checking the mages and all that. After the Exalted Council, Liliana devoted herself fully to the Sunburst throne and her dream of reshaping the Chantry. Within a year, she removed restrictions surrounding Chantry priesthood, allowing men and women of all races to be initiated and ordained. Even elven spies too. You can be Andrastian if you want. Just like a Meriden. The decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return the Canticle of Shartan to the canonical chant, a move that divided Andrastians deeply. A rebellion to renounce her and return the Chantry to its former state arose, beginning first in Orlais, then spreading to other parts of Thedas. Oh, she's controversial. Divine Victoria was resolute, holding her ground even after several unsuccessful attempts on her life. Seemingly unconcerned with the assassination attempts, she held up the hostility leveled against her as proof that she was on the right path. She's our spy master. Our ex-spy master. He's not gonna get killed that easily. Liliana continued her open affair with the hero of Ferelden. She was often seen by the Divine side. Oh, she came back! Did she find anything about how to lengthen Grey Wardens' lives? Eventually, Divine Victoria decreed that all members of the Chantry, from Initiate to Divine, would be allowed to engage in romantic relationships. When questioned, the Divine pointed to Andraste, who served the Maker while wed to a mortal spouse. The Maker stole a wife from somebody, okay? Wasn't she married to Makarath to begin with? In time, many in the Chantry came to accept the Divine's decree that love is the Maker's best gift and is infinite. With the Inquisition now answering to the Divine, Sarah joined the Inquisitor in officially retiring from scaring people in high places. Retiring? Sarah? Hey, I got a new arm? By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives, nowhere special, doing not much at all. By formal account. Wow, I got like a crossbow arm. And with that comforting lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all was back to normal. Meanwhile, Red Jenny, an entirely separate person, not at all collectively embodied by Sarah, the Inquisitor, and countless friends, continue to make a difference or just have fun, where and when the impulse struck. With frequent visits to her Whittle, of course. Are they dating? Who is Whittle? Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the Divine. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Red Jenny to give them 2 fingers. 2 fingers? Varric took up the role of Viscount and, with the help of his friend Hawke, rebuilt Kirkwall's damaged infrastructure. Wow, Hawke! Hawke got a haircut and looks old. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as a major trade hub of the Free Marches. Still can't believe Varric is a ruler now. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. Sebastian, give it up. Is he still a prince after all these years, not a king? With the Inquisition in its new role, the Bull's charges returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order to Thedas. A Kunari on our side. Many of the jobs brought the chargers close to the Imperium's border, where from time to time, in a border town villa, Bull and a certain Tevinter Magister would spend a few hours together before life pulled them apart again. Oh, they're still going strong. But they're doing Long D. Oh no! Long D has multiple meanings. After the Inquisition transitioned to a peacekeeping role, Cullen continued to serve as a commander of its forces. Under his leadership, the Inquisition protected the Divine's interests while enforcing new standards of security. Cullen also expanded the Chantry's treatment for Templars whose minds were taken by lyrium, as well as those who wished to cease lyrium usage. Yes, this should be done. And as chaos reigned in the north and threats to the Divine lurked in every shadow, Cullen remained ready to serve. We need to look into the whole reversing Tranquil thing too. That's a thing that needs to happen, that kind of research. Dorian returned to Tevinter to take his father's place in the Magisterium. Is that Dorian? My god, he's old! How long ago? Wait, is this like far into the future or what? Or is it just the art style? As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Who's that woman? Along with Magister Mavaris Tilani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to restore and redeem Tevinter, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Pavis' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. On one occasion, Venatori forces ambushed Dorian, who likely would have died. Had not an unnamed mercenary band led by a Talfashoth warrior crossed the Vinter's borders and mounted a dangerous rescue operation. The mercenaries left a trail of freed slaves and a dead Venatori in their wake, enabling Dorian to escape. When asked about the Talfashoth in question, Magister Pavis declined to comment. None of your business. Leave people alone. Tom Rainier was shown mercy when none was deserved, and set on a path of redemption. This gift, so compassionately given, needed to be shared. Freed from his obligations to the Inquisition, Rainier traveled Thedas, giving hope to the condemned and the forgotten. In the deepest prisons and pits of Thedas, he found, if not goodness itself, its potential. Keep on keeping on, Tom. By showing faith in those who had none, Rainier lifted them up and made them into something better than they were. It sounds like the right kind of time to get into some kind of religion too. Rely on Andrastian faith or something. After easing the Inquisition's transition into the Chantry, Josephine returned to Antiva and her family. Have Yvette take over the business. Thanks to the Inquisitor's help, the Monteliers were once again permitted to trade in Orlais. The next few years were a busy time, as many ships with the Montelier crest were built and set sail again from Antiva's harbors. Everyone's busy. Soon, Ravani pirate captains with an ancient feud against Josephine's ancestors took to the seas, determined to rekindle the rivalry. Apart from Josephine's sister, Yvette, nearly eloping with a dashing pirate prince on one occasion, Lady Montelier took the development in stride. The Inquisitor found herself warmly received by Josephine's family, and House Montelier soon became a second home. I'm still missing an arm. A place where the Inquisitor could, at last, find peace for a time, with Josephine happily by her side. What about our clan? All this time, we've never been back to our clan. Cole took to the road with Meriden to find a new life and new way to be human. Wherever Meriden went the same, people found old pains eased and hearts made happier, even if they didn't understand why. After the events at the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Thedas. Why? Really? Just because we're elven? What about me? I'm elven. I didn't get the memo. None could say where they went, but those who believe the Inquisitor's story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dread Wolves' forces were. And what the ancient elven rebel had planned. It almost feels like a calling of sorts. Fen'Harel calling all the elves. Oh, this shot is the same as the beginning when we were in that prison. Remember that? Through the grates.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
Maintaining the Inquisition, even as a peacekeeping force, leaves us vulnerable to agents of the Dread Wolf.
But also gives us the strength to respond.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us, who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself, if we can.
The Venter Imperium! Is that where we're going next? Oh, I would love it! Oh! Is this really it? Dragon Age Inquisition? We're actually rolling the credits? Really? Oh, we've been here for so long. It doesn't feel real. All 3 DLCs have been very good at nailing the ending, I think. Yeah. Sometimes, even if the journey has been rough, that last bit is what people are gonna leave with. And I think they're leaving off with a very good last bit here, obviously. But I do feel like, I mean, all this stuff, I guess it was sort of hinted at in the base game, maybe if you squint a bit. Like, the base game feels like it was about something else completely different. It was about Corypheus, who by comparison was quite plain. Yeah, I thought Corypheus was gonna be more threatening than he actually was. But then by the end, we just sort of defeated him all willy-nilly, and it didn't really... Well, it didn't really feel like we had that much trouble along the way. We had that one loss at Haven where people got killed and stuff, but then... Yeah, he just sort of died. Even he was a pawn in Solus's plans, I guess. Of which right now, we still don't know anything about. We just know he wants to make ancient elves great again, and that apparently means that he has to destroy the rest of the world by... opening up the veil. Alright. Interesting, interesting. And then we've left off with this ending for almost 10 years, and now we await the next game? That's pretty cruel. I'm just gonna have a sip of water first. I'm sure these credits are gonna take like 30 minutes to roll anyway. So, Dragon Age Inquisition.
What is this? A new book?
Oh.
All this shit is weird. Oh, Varric, that is a terrible title. What are you even thinking?
Is that gonna come up again?
The sky churned like a rolling sea on a dark and stormy night, centered on a gaping hole that led to the arse end of nowhere. A hole that spit up many things that day. Comets, demons, and a whole lot of trouble. It's about the Inquisition.
Do you like to hear yourself get written about, Cassandra? I'm assuming there's more.
The din of the tavern cut the silence like it owed the carter money. In the middle, in her element, Red Jenny. She looked me up and down. Mostly down. Not playing, weirdy, she said, gesturing with and dismissively eating a sandwich. Don't write that. Seriously, piss up a rope. Sarah made the subtext text, which suited me fine.
I like your Sarah impression, Cassandra. You can be this new book's designated audio reader.
The court enchanter swirled into the room like a drop of beautiful poison spreading in a wineglass. She sized me up with a glance. I'm so glad you made it, my dear.
Oh my god.
She said, I am Madame de Fair, the most terrifying person you shall ever meet.
Cassandra, didn't know you had that high voice in you.
Liliane enfolded Alphonse in an embrace as warm as a serpent's kiss. I always knew I could count on your support.
The Count did not feel the bite of her poisoned dart until it was too late. Even if it requires your death.
Varric, don't give away all of our secrets, please. Make sure it's fictional enough. I thought Alphonse was a nug for a second. She was hugging a nug.
Drops of rain glistened on the griffin medallion grasped tightly in Blackwall's hand. The silverite wings of valor. They mean nothing. He flung the medal to the cold and uncaring ground. You don't know what I've done. You don't know me. So romantic.
What? Cassandra saying that about Tom? Goodness. I guess at some point she probably forgave him for good.
Cole moved like a shadow that also moved like a knife. A shadow wearing a hat where dreams came to die. It's a riddle, he whispered. A cold riddle that gnaws at your mind, but you'll feel better when it's gone. That makes as much sense as anything Cole says.
So perfect characterization then.
Do you place your herald above the law, Ambassador? Whose law, my lady? Josephine's eyes glittered like angry opals. The law destroyed by rebellion, by civil war, by poor fiscal management. We are the law.
Is Josephine that unreasonable?
We left our mark on adamant, but the dust hadn't settled, and neither had Harding. I can offer you a drink, if I catch your meaning. If you'd caught my meaning, you'd have offered a double. What is even happening here? The Iron Bull was a great slab of muscle with horns that could hang a tapestry. One eye scanned for threats, while the other hid behind an eye patch like a chantry sister's old sins. Come on, he barked, not looking back as he entered. The dancer with the great rack comes on in 5. That is spot on, actually.
What about yours? Did Cassandra's piece come up yet? I don't think it did.
The commander had the look of a Templar who had seen the worst of humanity, yet still had the time to style his hair. This isn't just a war, he said, his gaze steely like a dull blade. It's the only war. Cullen! That's Cullen!
I love how excited Cassandra is to make the connections. There's a very childlike innocence to her sometimes, whenever she's reading that novel.
The mage wore a class of handsome sneer cultivated by 1,000 years of Tevinter elitism. The name's Dorian, he glared. D-O-R-I-A-N. Spell it right, you marble-headed lump, or it's toad time. A toad? That's hardly credible.
I wonder how many people stayed with the Inquisition after all the changes, the peacekeeping and all.
The bold elf spun, mage staff crackling like the city after a good man's murder. You're crazy, the Red Templar cried in terror. Moonlight glinted off ears like the knives you never see coming. Better to fade out than burn away. Ugh, Varric. Wait, where am I? I don't... Oh, here it is. The Seeker clutched at my vest, her tears as desperate as they were pitiful. Varric, I was wrong about everything, she sobbed. Could you find it in your noble heart to forgive me? That dwarf, he put me in the book. I'm in the book.
Oh,
I am reading the shit out of this.
oh, Cassandra's happy. I think, that's, at the end of the day, that's what's really important. Forget about saving the world. This is all I care about. To all of you who played Dragon Age Inquisition, who laughed, cried, and reached out on social media, who made fan art and comics and cosplay and jokes, thank you. Dragon Age Inquisition was a labor of love. Without you, it would never have been possible. Your support and your passion touched us deeply. We hope that in some small way, this game touched you as well. Bear your blade and raise it high, the Dragon Age team. There you go. Dragon Age Inquisition. Wow, it doesn't feel real that we finally got to the end. Feels like at some point it was never gonna end, but it does. And like I said earlier, there were ups, there were downs, but Trespasser, I think all 3 of the DLCs really nailed the ending. And that's a really important thing for drumming up excitement for the next thing. So I do find myself thinking, oh my god, can't wait till Dragon Age Dreadwolf comes out, which, very lucky for me, my wait is gonna be a lot shorter than a lot of you who've been waiting for like 10 years. But I'm excited all the same, so that's good. Implications of Trespasser though. Well, let's talk about Trespasser to begin with. This is probably one of the strongest parts of the entire Dragon Age Inquisition, including the main game. I'm not gonna say it's the best part, because it really... You're gonna want to think it's the best part because everyone's like, oh my god, Solas is a villain, and what's gonna happen in the next game? So that's like almost cheating. Who doesn't want to see what happens next? But in general, I feel like even the gameplay... Yeah, I like the last boss fight with that Cerebes guy, the big one. They were doing some crazy stuff with the color grading, and it felt more weighty, even more so than the fight against Corypheus. And the music, oh my goodness, the music when we were talking to Solas, when we finally found him after all this time. It was great. There's a lot about his plans that we don't know. And I find myself wanting to curb my optimism and enthusiasm a little bit because, like I said at the end of the Descent DLC, it's really easy, or let's say it's significantly easier to build up a mystery, to start the mystery, but to follow up on it, that's the hard part. And that's why a lot of media end up being disappointing when you get to the end, because before you get there, you start building all these things and all these theories and whatever in your head about how it's gonna go, but then when it actually happens, it ends up being a little bit different than what you thought. So at this point, I will say I'm excited, but they still have to actually follow through for this to come full circle. There's so much we don't know. We have a really big lack of information right now. Like, Solas seems to know a lot and seems to know everything. And I guess in the past 2 years, he recovered his strength and is at full strength now, and he's gonna tear down the veil, which means spirits and demons will flood into our world. And what's that gonna mean for us? Nothing good. So we have to stop him. But I wonder how this would even help with the whole restoring ancient elves thing. Okay, you tear down the veil, and then what? How does that make ancient elves, like, how is that good for them? Does it mean that elves will become immortal again? Not even just the gods, but every ancient elf? Every elf? Lots of questions, not enough answers. And now that we know elven gods exist, Mythal, Flemeth, did she really just die like that? That seems so crazy too, because she's been so mysterious this whole time in all 3 games, and then suddenly at the end she just, I don't know, passes off the soul to Solas or whatever. And what does that even mean then? Okay, let's say she passed off the soul of the archdemon to Solas. Is the elven myth gonna somehow tie in together with the whole Darkspawn stuff then? Because all the stuff we know about archdemons and Darkspawn, these are guesses. The whole thing about how, oh yeah, there's 7 old gods and there's gonna be 7 bloods and then what happens after that. These are all of the myths and legends and chantry teachings. These are guesses, theories as to what's happening. It's us trying to make sense of the world we live in. But we don't actually know anything. Oh, Mythal, Flemeth mentioned she wanted to get revenge too, didn't she? After we came back from drinking the well with Morgan and the Fade. Getting revenge on the other Evanuris, I guess, for killing her. So this is all really just gods fighting, and we're caught in the crossfire because we're not godly and we're mortals. Suddenly it feels like the scale of things has really increased. And by comparison though, because now we're dealing with actual gods and stuff, Corypheus from the main game seems pretty limp. He felt threatening to begin with the whole Tevinter Magister and the Golden City and the Black City, and oh, is he some kind of advanced Darkspawn that knows about, has like conscious thought and stuff, and is he immortal? But all that really felt like, looking back now, all of that was really a setup for introducing this, I guess, and so it becomes like, oh, okay, it's just Corypheus, whatever. But so clearly there's so much about this world that we just don't know. Makes me feel very small, like I'm just some mortal trying to get by. And even the blight, even that seems very... Well, we don't have a blight right now, right? So it feels very like not something we should worry about at the moment. It's crazy. But I think we should take a little bit of solace in that Solus was surprised that he would find us worth something, because he probably started going to the Inquisition. In the beginning, he was all like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna try to help out in getting the orb back from Corypheus and all that. But at some point, he did seem genuinely impressed by the Inquisitor and the Inquisition and just the resilience of us mortals, I guess. So I'm really hoping... No, I know we will. I know we'll be able to prove him wrong. We might be mortals. We might be a lot weaker than you gods or whatever in terms of just raw strength and power. But we have resilience. We have our humanity. And we'll find a way to make it through. For the upcoming Dragon Age Dreadwolf, the next games, well, the pattern up until now has been that we have different protagonists every game, and I fully expect that to happen as well for Dreadwolf, especially because the Inquisitor is sort of out of the picture with a missing arm. But the way they framed it gives me the impression that the Inquisition organization will still be pretty important in the upcoming story. It's kind of crazy, like they have 3 games worth of choices to try to remember for the next game. I feel like at some point it's gonna... I worry a little bit because I feel like the quality of the story is gonna be taking a hit from all these different choices they have to keep track of. Honestly, for me, I would rather them focus on writing like one good story as opposed to having to keep track of a million different choices that, well, they probably have to make them converge at some point, because otherwise it's just too much to keep track of. I don't mind seeing a cameo here and there, but they don't need to go all out in keeping track of all this stuff for me. Yeah, what else can I say about Trespasser? It's a great way to wrap it up, and I'm so glad to see that it is, because it shows that as the last DLC they came out with, that they realized that the previous way of doing things might not have been the most popular one. The DLC started getting more and more focused. Even Jaws of Hakken was kind of like the main game. And then The Descent, I assume they came out in this order. The Descent was more linear, and then this one, yeah, linear, little hubs here and there. Great, I love it. I only wish they could retroactively go and fix up Inquisition in the same way. I don't think I really need to talk anymore about how I felt about the gameplay and the open world design of Inquisition in general. I've shared some of these thoughts over the many, nearly 100 parts of this playthrough already. Yeah, just the nutshell version is I really just don't think they had enough quality to support the amount of playtime hours they wanted you to invest into this. I don't think this is a controversial opinion. In fact, I'm under the impression that we are all thinking similar things. And, you know, just as a precaution, so I don't know why some people seem to think that because I say these things, it means I don't like the game. You can like something, but still have problems with things it doesn't do well. In fact, I will say that personally, if I didn't care about something, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this. I'd just be like, okay, yeah, cool game, great. Yeah, I'm gonna move on now, bye. So, I'm saying all this because I do like it, and I want it to get better. Fetch questy, grindy, whatever stuff aside, I enjoyed the narrative content a lot. There were a few spots that I thought were kind of like, why is the bad guy explaining his entire plan to me? But you know, that's like a small thing in the grand scheme of things, and Bioware games, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, feels like the core of things has always been the journey with your companions, and the companions I enjoyed. That's been the case for me for Origins, it's been the case for me for 2, and Inquisition is no exception here. It's the one thing that they do very, very well. They get you attached to these people. They feel like well-actualized, actual people. Not everyone is going to be someone you like, but they're somebody, and you remember them. And I feel like that's all I could ever ask for. And so at the core of it, despite everything else, I still like it. I still like Inquisition. Granted, as an overall product, it probably is, well, it ranks number 3 in my list of favorite Dragon Age games. But I think that just can't be helped. It's just the filler, grindy stuff was... I can overlook it and still enjoy the rest of the game, but I can't pretend it doesn't exist. It honestly makes me really worried for the next game. When you have a game and it has a sequel and that has a sequel, you generally expect it to get better and better, at least technically, right? Graphically, technically, gameplay-wise, all that. Which I feel like was the case for Mass Effect. But in Dragon Age, it feels like sometimes it'll take a step forward in one area, but then in another, it'll take 2 steps back. Like how in Origins and 2 we had the whole AI tactics stuff and it was like this mini programming thing. But here it got dumbed down a lot, and the dumbing down of it, it's not that I think dumbing down something immediately means it's bad, but it's that they dumbed it down in a bad way. At least for me, it became a lot harder for me to want to control my companions directly because it felt like it was just... I had to wrangle with them to make them do what I wanted them to do. And then stuff like having 8 slots for skills when usually any given character could have like 20 different skills. Yeah, stuff like that. If the player notices it, the creators already know it too. They're not blind, okay? But if they see it and they don't fix it, that tells me that there's probably some type of interference during the development. In the case of Inquisition, I'm inclined to believe that EA had a lot to do with it. I did read about the whole, oh, they made them use Frostbite engine, or they made them add mounts because, what, open world games all have mounts and they're cool. And, like, strange, bizarre decisions here and there. And, well, Bioware is still owned by EA right now, which I think they've gone a little bit better in recent years. I know that Dreadwolf started out as a live service game, but now they said, okay, you know what, just make a single player game. The last EA game I played is Dead Space Remake this year. That was fine. That was good. So maybe that gives a little bit more optimism for Dreadwolf. But honestly, it's been 10 years since the last Dragon Age game came out, and it's not because they were working on polishing Dreadwolf for 10 years, it's because it's been troubled development, right? And that, yeah, that's worrying. I know, like on the second day of me starting this Inquisition playthrough, Bioware announced that they laid off 50 people, including a lot of veteran writer staff who've been with the studio for decades. So all of that, honestly, it's pretty worrying, but I would treasure the chance to be proven wrong. No matter what kind of state it releases in, if it comes out, if it releases, I will play it and you will see it on this channel here. That much I can say. Okay, I feel like we're getting into rambling territory here. Maybe it's time to wrap it up. Anything else I want to say about Inquisition? Probably not anything that I haven't said already within the past nearly 100 videos. There were ups, there were downs, but we ended on a big up, so I'm feeling pretty good right about now, and I remain cautiously optimistic for Dragon Age Dreadwolf, the next game. Looking forward to going to the Tevinter Imperium, if that's really what's gonna happen. And with this will also be the end of my Dragon Age journey for now then, since Dragon Age Origins back in September last year, to Dragon Age 2 back in, I think it was around earlier this year, and now finishing up Inquisition in November of 2023. It's been over a year, cumulatively. Whether this is the first video that you've seen of me or you've been here since the beginning of Origins, thank you for sticking around. I know I'm not the fastest video game player around here, but if I started it, I will finish it, and I think that's something that, or at least I hope, it's something that anybody with familiarity with this channel knows that, you know, they don't have to worry about me not finishing a game, because that just doesn't happen. From the day I started Origins, I knew I was gonna get to the end of Inquisition, and here we are, finally. Been one hell of a crazy ride. I can still remember starting Origins and then because Origins is so old, on my 1440p monitor, it doesn't scale. The HUD doesn't scale, so I had to actually physically pull my monitor closer to myself so I could read the text because everything is so small. And yeah, just starting out in Kuzlin Castle, and I can still remember being in that castle, walking around, and then there was that dog that was barking around the castle that made me think there was a dog barking around my house in real life because it sounded so real. And lots of little things like that. I can still remember it very, very vividly. Dragon Age 2? Not quite the heroic tale like Dragon Age 1, where we were trying to save the world. Much more intimate story of a person and her family and the friends and enemies around her. Love that in its own way as well. To finally, Inquisition. Suddenly, we are fighting against gods and immortals. So that's quite the increase in scale. Just looking at the narratives of the 3 Dragon Age games, I loved all 3. Really. All 3 were engaging in its own way, and that's really the thing that kept me going. And so, I do want to believe that Dreadwolf will be the same way. That the story will be engaging and fun, and just at least telling us what happens next, no matter what the rest of the game might be like. Yeah, this actually sounds quite pessimistic when I put it like that, but I'm sure it'll clear a minimum base bar of being engaging and fun. Like, this part I'm pretty sure about. I'm a very easy to please person, I think, in terms of what games I find fun and stuff. So I'm confident I'll be able to find enjoyment in it. And whenever it comes out, I hope to see you back here. Once again, whether you join me starting with this video, or the beginning of Inquisition, or the beginning of Dragon Age 2, or Origins, thank you so much for joining me. And this has been Welonz with the Dragon Age series, which is a trilogy so far. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed playing it, and I will see you all in another place in another time. Bye!